This is the story of a criminal who taunted the police, challenged the media, and was never caught. The Zodiac Killer, America's most infamous unsolved mystery. In the late 1960s, a shadow emerged in Northern California. A killer who didn't just take lives, he taunted police, terrorized communities, and left behind a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. His name was one he gave himself, the Zodiac. The Zodiac Killer was an unidentified serial killer who operated primarily in Northern California between 1968 and 1969. He is believed to have murdered at least 5 people, although he claimed to have unalived as many as 37. His first confirmed attack occurred on December 20th, 1968. Teenagers David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen were parked on a secluded road near Vallejo, California. Both were shot. There were few clues, but the case quickly went cold. Months later, on July 4th, 1969, the killer struck again. Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau were sitting in a parked car when a man approached and opened fire. Ferrin died, but Mageau survived and provided investigators with a description of the attacker. In August 1969, 3 newspapers received nearly identical letters from someone claiming responsibility for the murders. The writer included portions of a coded message, demanding that the newspapers publish them on their front pages. The letters were signed with a strange symbol, a circle crossed by a vertical and horizontal line. Beneath it was a name that would become legendary. "This is the Zodiac speaking." The cipher sparked nationwide fascination. Amateur codebreakers eventually solved it. The message contained disturbing statements about unaliving people and collecting them as slaves for the afterlife. But the Zodiac was far from finished. On September 27, 1969, he attacked another young couple, Cecilia Shepard and Brian Hartnell, at Lake Berryessa. This time, he wore an eerie black executioner's hood, marked with his symbol. He tied up the victims before assaulting them with a bladed weapon repeatedly. Cecilia Shepard later died from her injuries, while Brian Hartnell survived. The Zodiac then escalated his campaign of fear. On October 11, 1969, taxi driver Paul Stine was murdered in the city of San Francisco. This crime brought the killer directly into an urban area and generated massive media attention. Afterward, the Zodiac sent more letters to newspapers. Some contained pieces of Stine's bloody shirt as proof of his involvement. He mocked investigators, threatened school buses, and boasted that police could never catch him. Over the years, the Zodiac mailed dozens of letters and cryptograms. Some were authentic, while others were suspected hoaxes. His messages revealed a disturbing desire for publicity and control. Investigators pursued countless leads and suspects. One of the most famous was Arthur Lee Allen, a former schoolteacher whose behavior raised suspicions. However, despite years of investigation, no conclusive evidence ever linked him to the crimes. Advances in forensic science, including DNA analysis, have failed to definitively identify the killer. Multiple suspects have emerged over the decades, but none have been proven responsible.
One of the Zodiac's ciphers remained unsolved for more than 50 years. In 2020, a team of codebreakers finally cracked the so-called 340 cipher. The message contained more taunts toward law enforcement, but offered no clues about the killer's identity. Today, the Zodiac Killer remains one of the most famous unsolved criminal cases in American history. Who was he? A calculating psychopath seeking attention? A criminal mastermind who outsmarted authorities? Or someone whose true identity has been hidden in plain sight for decades? More than half a century later, the mystery endures. The letters stopped, the unaliving ceased, but the question remains unanswered. Somewhere in the shadows of history lies the truth about the Zodiac Killer, and perhaps the identity of the man who called himself Zodiac. Tell us your theory in the comments below. If you want more unsolved cases like this, don't forget to like and subscribe.